Welcome, Inner Peace Yoga community. My name is Joelle, and this is your yoga studio online. Thank you for joining me today for our Yoga for Backs class. For the practice, we're going to need a few things: a black strap, a white felt pad, and if you don't have a white felt pad, you can either use a rolled up yoga mat or a towel, as well as a block, and inside of the sock, I have 2 tennis balls. Let's begin our practice by finding a comfortable seat, sitting on the edge of whatever it is that you choose to sit on. Your legs can be in any comfortable position that feels right for your body. I invite you to bring your seat behind you. So think about your sit bones. For many of us, we spend a lot of our day with the pelvis coming into a posterior tilt. So I want you to sit upright and think about bringing the bum behind. And then now locating your lower ribs at the front of your body, let's find a connection there by taking those lower ribs and drawing them slightly down and back towards the spine. When you do this, it should release any hinge or back bend that you may have felt just below your shoulder blades. And you may have also noticed that it kind of changed the shape of your lower back as well. So we do want to have an inward curve in the lower back. If you take your hands to the front of your pelvis where we locate those as-is bones, and then you locate your pubic bone, these bones should be pretty level with one another. And you can play around with this by rolling back. Feel the pubic bone coming ahead of the as-is bones. If you bring the tail a little bit more behind you, you may feel those as-is bones coming ahead of the pubic bone. So now just finding a place where we may feel like we've leveled those 2 bones. And then now moving up, the ribs are soft. We're going to find a gentle lift in the collarbones. Shoulders moving down away from your ears. We're going to level the chin with the mat and bring the head slightly back so that we carry the weight of the head a little more squarely over the neck and shoulders. And then now I also invite you to close your eyes, to come into the space that you're in right now, to arrive onto your mat, and to become aware. Aware of your surroundings, the temperature in the room, any smells. How do you feel in this space? Can you relax in this space without losing this dignified posture? Let all of those larger muscles of yours that have been working pretty hard today, let them become a little soft. Become aware of the sensations in your body. How is the body feeling? Becoming aware of any injuries. Becoming aware of the places in the body that feel energetic and light. Bring your awareness to your breath. Observing the natural quality of your breath. Becoming aware of the slight pause at the end of the in-breath and the end of the out-breath. Become aware of your thoughts. What's going on in that mind of yours? Just observe without placing any judgment. Bring yourself back to your body again, making any subtle shifts or adjustments if you're not comfortable. Then bringing your awareness back to your pelvis, your lower ribs, your collarbones and your shoulders. leveling your chin. Just notice if you've lost some of that alignment that we set. It can happen very quickly. And through the practice of awareness, we make changes. Become aware of your breath again. I invite you now to begin to breathe in and out through the nose if you haven't already started to do so. Take slow sips of air in through the nostrils. Slow air out. Slowly releasing that breath out. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, your ribs, and your belly. Feeling the breath as it flows in and out of your body with ease and grace. You might become aware of your thoughts. Perhaps there's something that's calling your attention right now. You might bring your mind there for a moment. Sit with that thought for just a brief moment. Do not become attached or clung or start to create bigger stories. But recognize anything that comes into your line of vision. Whether it be a thought or an image or a color, perhaps a mantra. Maybe a mantra as simple as inhaling the word let and exhaling the word go. I invite you now to bring your palms together and over your heart center for Anjali Mudra. Maybe taking a moment here to dedicate your practice to someone or something special in your life. And if you'd like to join me, let's open the practice with the sound of one Om. Coordinating our breath, let's inhale and exhale together. Take a deep breath in, expanding the belly. Let that out through the mouth. Deep breath in, fill right up. Gently opening the eyes and letting the hands come down. Let's begin our practice with the block and the tennis balls. And if you don't have those props, you might just take your black strap, bring it flat on the ground, lay it out, and just lay on that black strap for this part of our practice. We're going to spend a few minutes just kind of diving out of the sympathetic part of our central nervous system and hopefully starting to move into the parasympathetic part where we can really start to rest, heal, digest, and maybe just feel like we're relaxing, letting go. So let's come off of any height. All right, so we're going to place the block on the mat and the tennis balls just on top of the block. And what we're going to do is we're going to place the tennis balls just at the back of the head so that the tennis balls are resting under the occipital ridge, which is the base of your skull. We'll start by bending the legs and laying down on the back. And then taking your hands back behind and placing those balls so that the chin comes in towards the chest. The forehead is higher than the chin, chin higher than chest. And you might need to adjust a little bit. So it can also feel like you're receiving some traction here as we lengthen out the neck. Now, if you are keeping your legs bent, let's just lift the pelvis up a little bit and think about bringing the bum behind. So we're creating that C shape, that little curve in the lower back. And then maybe bringing the knees together and letting the feet come out wider apart. Arms can rest either on your belly or next to you on the ground. If you'd like to stretch out your legs, bringing them out and bringing them out pretty wide, at least mat width or maybe even wider apart. Let your eyes close. Let your shoulders relax. If at any time the lower back starts to ache and you want to bend those knees, feel free to bring those knees back up like I am. Release the weight of the shoulders. It may take about a minute or so for you to start to feel a little bit comfortable and grounded and settled in. Feel free to continue to use the hands if you need to just lift the balls up a little higher and then dropping the shoulders. Dropping that thinking mind, coming into the body, into the breath. And with your eyes closed, let's do a little scan, looking for places of tension. For many of us, tension can hide in the body and it can feel normal, even though it's not. Maybe you notice a bit of effort where you don't need to be working. But as I bring your mind to some of these places in the body, just gently bring your awareness there and see if you can let go of some grip. So let's start with the crown of the head. Just releasing the muscles of the crown of the head. Releasing the muscles in your face. Giving a little space between the back of the teeth. Tongue rested very lightly behind the two front teeth. Some space between the teeth as we release the tongue, that large muscle that sits in the mouth. Releasing the throat and the neck, the shoulders, your arms, releasing the chest, the upper back, the ribs and the belly, mid back and lower back, releasing any tension or effort in the glutes, any gripping around the hips, the legs, all the way down to the tips of your toes. We've been here a couple minutes now, long enough for relaxation to start to kick in. Feel the body sinking, settling, deeper and deeper. Dropping into the present moment, the body and the breath. Using the breath as a tool to help unwind, to help undo. Feel that breath supporting you, stabilizing you. Feel the vitality of that breath, the energy. And I want you to bring your awareness to any place in the body that may be talking to you. Maybe a place where you recognize a lot of effort, a lot of grip. If you could take your finger and touch one spot, I want you to use your breath to create an area, to broaden out that one spot. Make it an area. Eyes are closed. Face is relaxed. Dropping out of that fight, flight, or freeze mode and into a place where we can feel relaxed, reset, calm, and grounded. If you start to feel yourself nodding off to sleep, that's okay. Trust that you're still going to hear my voice and you're still going to follow me. Keep coming back to your breath, back to the props, your body. If you can help yourself in falling asleep, stay awake. Be present. But if you need the rest, take the rest. Notice all the pressure points. And let the body soften around those points. Perhaps you're having a strong sensation at that occipital. Right where those balls are resting, we do have pressure points there. This is an acupressure point. Helps to release headaches, migraines, tension. There's a whole list of benefits. If we could lay here for 20 minutes without moving, might allow us to get deep into the parasympathetic part of the central nervous system, where we can do some of our best work, our best healing. And we allow ourselves this time, even if it feels like you're not doing anything, trust that you're doing a lot. And that likely you've spent most of your day, your week, your life doing more than you don't. We don't take time to rest consciously. We go to bed, we fall asleep, but we typically don't do things where we're awake and allowing ourselves opportunities to really feel like we're not doing anything. You are. Trust that in this practice you are doing a lot. Knowing that, allow yourself to take in, to benefit completely from this pose, from this practice, by staying aware, by staying with the breath and the body. This, to me, is advanced therapy, advanced work. So well done. We're going to stay a little longer. I'm going to give you an option now if you'd like to gently rock the head from side to side. Just gently rolling a little. Not looking for any big, huge movements here. Let the head stay heavy, shoulders heavy and relaxed. Just gently rocking side to side. Maybe pausing if you're feeling a nice pressure point release. Lots of nerve endings up here. Many of us spend a lot of our day with our head carried forward. And when we do that, we tip the head forward and chin up, and we compress the top of our neck. And right now we're trying to decompress those little vertebrae, the top of the neck, that atlas, and where it attaches to the occipital. And let's bring the head back to center if you were rocking. Let the shoulders relax. Chin is into chest. Find your breath. Relax the shoulders. Softening the face. As we move deeper and deeper into relaxation, you should observe the breath resting at the ribs. And if you're here and you've got a lot of anxiety, perhaps the breath is quite shallow, high up in the chest and the lungs, I want you to continue to take conscious diaphragmatic belly breaths, where on each in-breath, you're expanding the abdomen, and on each out-breath, you're contracting the abdomen, gently hugging the belly to the spine. Continuing with this diaphragmatic breathing until or if you start to just relax and you notice this calm breath, like when you're sleeping, resting around the ribs, right where your diaphragm is. And our diaphragm is considered a postural muscle. It helps to stabilize the pelvis and the lower back. For many of us, we spend a lot of our day collapsing. So this muscle doesn't get to work and function to its full capacity. Right now, we have an opportunity in this position to allow the diaphragm to really work at its full capacity. Help to bring strength and awareness to this very important muscle, your breathing muscle. Feel the ribs expand as we inhale and soften as we exhale. If you brought your legs out, I invite you to now slowly bring those legs up one at a time. Let's heel-toe the inner knees and ankles together to touch. We're going to inhale one arm across the body. On an exhalation, we're going to roll to the side. Pausing there for a moment for a full breath in and out. Support the head and neck with your bottom arm. And then pressing into that top hand, gently guide yourself up. All right, notice how you feel. Let's take those props off of the mat now. And just place them off to the side. And we're going to get onto the black strap. So I want you to take the black strap and fold it in half. And we're going to bring the two ends of the black strap behind us. And you can do so either from a seated position or laying down. If you are doing it from a laying down position, you're going to take the strap behind you like this. And you're going to lay on your side and you're going to roll over so that you just land nicely on that strap. If you're coming down from a seated position, as best as we can, we come down to the floor. And then we want to position that black strap so that it's along the spine in that double fold. Okay, bum behind you, so you might lift up the pelvis. Think about taking the bum behind, softening through the lower ribs when you do. You might lift the head and give a little pull, and then bring the head back down so that the head is resting on your black strap. Let's bring the arms out into a T or a cactus shape. Notice how that feels, bringing the shoulders into that external rotation. And if it's too much, you could bring your hands and rest them right on your ribs or your belly, and then allow the shoulders to gently externally rotate back. I'm going to keep my knees bent, walk my feet apart, knees together. If you'd like to stretch your legs out, you might do that. I invite you to close your eyes to notice the spots, the pressure points along your black strap. Likely observing that pesky spot right at the bottom. Maybe noticing a strong pressure point between the shoulder blades up high. Maybe the head itself is a pressure point. If you have a lot of stiffness or rounding, kyphosis happening in the upper part of your back, you may notice that the head isn't actually resting all that heavy down. So what I would encourage for you to do is to place a folded towel underneath the black strap, bringing the chin up a little bit towards the ceiling, not back towards the forehead. Eyes closed. Bring your awareness back to your breath again. Scanning the body from your head slowly down to your toes. Becoming aware of any thoughts that might surface right now. Deciding whether or not these thoughts are of importance. Do you want to spend some time thinking about them right now? Meditating on something right now? Or would you like to be a little more present? If so, come back to your breath. Come back to the pressure points, the body. The mind might slip back into thought again. Just asking yourself if you're interested in any of these thoughts. And do you wish to stay with them right now? Or would you like to become more present? And it's a dance. You just gently learn to come back over and over again. Each time we find ourselves caught up in something that maybe we find unpleasant. Maybe a thought comes in and it triggers something. It's our choice to stay with it or not. Sometimes, through a practice like this and choosing to stay in those thoughts, we might gain an answer. We might gain clarity. So meditation doesn't have to be just completely letting your thoughts go. You might be asking yourself, do I want to stay in this thought? Do I want to entertain it right now? And if not, it's your choice. If you come back to the present moment and back to the body, scan the body immediately. Notice how these thoughts trigger uncomfortable sensations, gripping, pain. It changes the way that our breath flows in and out through us. Our thoughts have so much power. They can, if we choose them. If we choose to stay in them, if we choose to create bigger stories. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are much bigger, much brighter. Soften your body. Notice the need that you have to continue to grip, to hold on. How difficult it can become to allow the body to rest. Be gentle, be kind as you train your body. Bring your awareness back to the pressure points, the spots. Have they changed? And if so, how have they changed? Become aware of the positioning of your pelvis and your spine, your torso, your head. Right now, without much effort, your head is resting squarely over your neck and shoulders. You are in an upright position. Notice the lordotic curves of your spine. The inward curve, the inward extension at the back of the neck, and the lower back. And right between, along the spine, likely where you're feeling a lot of that black strap, you may have a lot of sensation there. Visualize your spine moving towards your chest. As all those muscles that lay along your spine become softer with the help of this time laying here, the weight of your body, gravity, your breath. Visualize and feel the decompressing happening at the front. Encouraging more blood flow along the spine and in between each disc and in between each vertebra. Again, observe the ribs and the diaphragm and how open everything is right now. And if we were to cut the body in half, separating the torso from the lower half, I want you to observe the sensation that you feel in the upper half of your body. Can you feel lightness and space here? Notice your breath creating more of that space, more of that lightness. And then if we bring our awareness to the very lowest part of the abdomen, the pelvic floor, all the muscles and the glutes and down to the legs, feel this part of the body now a little bit heavier, perhaps a lot more grounded, relaxed. Feeling a combination of both space and lightness and grounding and relaxation happening all at the same time right now. And so much more grounding to do. So much more letting go to do. You can feel it in your body. All the layers. Keep peeling off those layers. Feel your body now as both space and lightness, and grounding and relaxation. If you're quite content where you are and you'd like to stay, I invite you to stay. If you'd like to take some gentle movements, let's bring our legs up if we brought them out. Let's heel toe the feet and the knees apart. Bring the feet a comfortable distance away from your bum. And then pressing your feet actively into the mat, take your hands to your lower ribs. Keep those lower ribs down. A little pressure in your feet. Lift your pelvis off the ground so that the bum is just hovering off the floor. And as we hover here off the floor, starting to wake up some of those deeper postural muscles now, including the diaphragm, the psoas. Find the breath. See if you can release the glutes. Notice if they were tightening. Notice if the pubic bone was thrusting forward. Think about keeping your bum behind you so you've got that inward curve. And as we lift it a little bit off of the floor and we create that little curve here, maybe you notice a feeling of temperature change, like a warming or cooling flush. You may feel this a little bit more as we move up higher into the spine. So I want you to press a little more actively into both feet. Lift the pelvis up just a little higher. And as we lift, we're also thinking about lifting up with the spine. So I'm not changing too much down below. The bum is still behind. The bum is not tightening up. The hamstrings are working hard. Quads are working hard. Equal pressure in both feet. And then now lifting up a little higher with that space between the shoulder blades. Starting to direct some of the weight towards the bottom of the neck, towards that C7 vertebra. If you'd like, you can take your hands, pick the head up slightly, give a little pull to lengthen out the back of the neck, and then resting your hands back on your low ribs, relax your shoulders to the floor, equal pressure in the feet, start to breathe consciously, and then very slowly lower the pelvis back down. And as we come down, we're coming one vertebra at a time over the black strap, pelvis making a very soft landing, or maybe even just hovering, working deeply in those postural muscles. And if and when you're ready, we'll slowly take it back up into that bridge, moving nice and slow, watching your movement patterns. And then when you're ready, slowly coming back down. You may have noticed some popping sounds along the spine. Let's take the hands now to the head and just lift it up slightly. Give a little pull and bring the head back down. Bringing your arms into a T or a cactus place if that feels comfortable for you. Let's heel toe the inner knees and legs together to touch. And then keeping the legs together, feet on the mat, just gently let the legs rock right to left. And I want you to do so very slowly, trying not to disturb this heavy, relaxed state in the upper body. And noticing that when we move really slow, we're working more deeply in the body. So it's a lot more challenging. If you're finding that it's really easy to be windshielding those knees, definitely slow it down. Find yourself a challenge today. Relax the shoulders. Making sure that the breath is still here. Sometimes when we start moving, the breath changes or we hold the breath, inviting a little bit of tension in somewhere. We want to stop ourselves from doing that. When you can recognize it, move slow, breathe. And you might find that as the knees move to one side, there's a little pressure point that you want to hold. You can most definitely just stop. Let the legs rest in one place for a moment. Just make sure they're together. Soften with breath. And then continuing to move. Nice and slow. So after you extend your spine, whether it be an upright extension or a back bend, it's always really beneficial to twist, to find some rotation in the spine. And we don't rotate our spines very much. So these little movements here with the legs, we're actually rotating in the upper back. You can feel that right between the shoulder blades there. Go slow. Pretty subtle, but it's just what we need. Let's go one more time to each side. And then bring the legs back to center when you've completed, without rushing, of course. We'll just take a moment there, release the shoulders. Take a breath in and take one arm across. And then as you breathe out, we'll roll off of the strap, pressing down into the ground and coming up. All right. We're going to need the felt pad now. So taking the felt pad the longer way, and rolling it up to make a nice tight thin roll. And we'll place that thin roll about mid-mat, and we'll have our black strap next to us as well. So I'm placing the thin roll just below the bottom of my scapulas, my shoulder blades. Grabbing your black strap, folding it in half. Let's bring the two ends of the strap behind so that it's resting tight up against the roll. And then holding the strap up underneath the head, let's slowly bring our upper body down to the floor. We've done some really good work in the upper thoracic spine already, so you may not notice a bunch of stiffness here right now. Some of you may become aware of a lot of stiffness right now. So continue to go with your breath, taking your time. The slower you come down to the ground, the better. Don't rush just because you hear my instructions. Once your fingertips touch the ground, you're going to let the head rest on the strap. Arms coming next to you in that comfortable T or cactus position. If this is too much external rotation for a shoulder injury, take your hands and just rest them on your ribs or your belly and relax your shoulders. Legs can extend or knees can come together, feet apart. Make sure you've got your bum behind you. And then softening where the props are. You might close your eyes. Lots of sensations here, not just on the roll, but also below the roll. Let all these muscles relax. They will. If you need to place a towel underneath the head, please place a towel underneath the black strap so that, again, the forehead is moving up towards the ceiling and not back towards the crown of the head. Slow sips of air in and out through the nose. Using your breath now to release the space between each rib. So in between each rib, we have our intercostal muscles. And when we spend a lot of time in that forward fold position, we really start to tense and tighten these muscles a lot. And we can feel it when we're taking deep breaths. Maybe you feel some restriction around your ribs. Maybe you notice that a lot right now with the placement of the roll here. This is very normal, very common. And you may just spend some more time laying here like this. You don't need to move if you don't want to. But if you'd like to go deeper, we're going to bring the legs in and together. And we're going to find some very slow rotations. Feet on the floor. Let the legs gently go to the right. Bring your attention to your breath. Slow, subtle movements. Keep the legs together, feet planted. Squeeze the legs a little bit. And as slow as you can, let it be a challenge. Bring the legs back to center. Keep breathing consciously. When you feel the knees have come back to center, we're going to let them go slowly to the left. Come to the breath. Notice the pressure points. Slow, subtle movements. And then legs together, we'll come back. Now, if we're making our way to that right side, I want you to pick up your left foot. Keeping the ankles and knees together, let the legs go a little farther to that right side. Not moving the pelvis. Keep those legs together. And then nice and slow, squeeze those legs back to center. Breathing. Take your time. And then let the left foot plant down. Pick up that right foot, legs together. Slowly bring them to the side. Become aware of the sensations both on and below the roll. Relax through the shoulders. And then nice and slow, legs back together and back to center. And letting that right foot rest back down. Relax on the props. Without picking your head up off of the black strap, let the head gently turn to the right. Head heavy on the strap, back to center. Relax the throat, the neck. And then gently letting the head go to the left. And gently back to center. Legs together on an in-breath. On an out-breath, heel-toe the feet apart. On an in-breath, you might bring your hands to your ribs, elbows coming up onto the roll. And on the out-breath, pressing actively into your feet, lift your pelvis off the ground. Take your hands to the head, pick it up as you go up higher and higher. Start to lift way up. Lift with the spine. Take that roll out from underneath your body. And lower yourself slowly back down. Let's adjust ourselves once the pelvis comes down. We're going to move to the top part of the strap just a little bit so that you're going to bring the bottom end of the black strap to that place where you had the roll. Your head is resting on the strap as well. We're going to grab our yoga belt, fold it in half, and then in half again. Taking it into each hand, thumbs pointing towards one another, knuckles moving up towards the ceiling. The space between the hands is nice and taut, so give a little pull. Relax your shoulders down towards the floor, plugging those arms into the shoulders, and then now slowly start to bring your arms over your head. Take your time. We're not looking for big movements here. Remember, all movements in Yoga for Backs classes are pretty slow and very subtle. I want you to stop the moment you feel that sticky break. Either you're going to stretch your arms away from the body to bring them closer to the ground, or you're going to flare your ribs, lose them, and bring them farther to the ground. I want you to stop at that point. Find your breath. Close your eyes. Relax the shoulders. Super important, and it needs to happen consciously. And then now let those arms slowly come back up towards the sky, keeping the arms plugged heavy into your shoulders. Shoulders relaxed, heavy around the strap. Lots of movement, lots of shaking here. And then we're going to do it again. This time, before we go over the head, let's lift the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Okay, so notice how it feels like the arms are unplugged from your shoulders. There's a disconnect. I want you to plug them back in now. Drop the arms, relax the shoulders, and then let the arms slowly come over the head. Stopping when you feel that break of movement, resistance. If you're working with an injury, please lead with the injured side. Breathe. And then slowly, let's return back to that starting point. Breathing consciously, the goal is to stay relaxed. Take your knuckles, reach up to the sky. Drop the shoulders back down. Slowly bring the arms over the head. Breathe. When you find that break, press into the feet. Lift the pelvis off the ground. Maybe bringing the arms a little more over the head. Relax the shoulders. Think about the bum behind. Soften through the lower ribs. Slowly come down. All right, once the pelvis is back down, arms are back up, let's release the strap to the floor. Take a deep in-breath and a deep out-breath, and as you release that out-breath, drop the shoulders down. Take another breath in and out. Inhale, one arm across the body, legs come together. Exhale, we roll to one side. Full breath there, and then when you're ready, pressing down, come up. All right, let's get the white felt pad now. We're going to take the felt pad, the shorter end, and roll it up to make a nice tight, thick roll. We're going to place this tight, thick roll right up against the lower back, bending the knees, planting the feet. Let's come down to the elbows and the forearms, and then pressing into the feet, lift your pelvis off the ground enough to bring your shoulders down, head coming down. Take your hands to your low ribs or your belly. And then let's slowly just allow the body to get heavy over the roll. You're going to feel the tailbone gently moving down. Maybe feeling lots of pressure. Right direct in the sacrum. Watch the knees aren't falling out wide. Keep letting the tail move down as far as it feels right for you to go. We're not pushing anything. We're just breathing and moving this low lumbar into its lordotic extension. Decompressing L4, L5, L5 and S1. You might feel a lot of widening at the front of the pelvis and hips here. And then without using your glutes, just your feet, the muscles that run all the way up those legs, bring your pelvis back to that neutral position again. Notice your lower ribs starting to move down. We're not clenching in the bum. Take another breath in, and then as you breathe out, let's let the bum get heavy. Let the tail get heavy. Just relaxing gently over the roll. Feel that strong amount of pressure as we decompress. We spend a lot of our day, like they say the average person spends over 94% of their day flexing in the spine. And most of this is happening down in the lumbar. We're losing this natural inward curve. Feel the resistance. Feel the stiffness. Is it muscular or is it actual structural? Maybe it's both. And then gently bringing your pelvis back to that neutral position again, where the as-is bones and the pubic bone are level with one another. The bum is behind us. Bring your feet in a little closer, and I want you to lift up slowly. And you might lift and lower in stages. So you might lift a little, and then just relax a little, and then lift a little higher, and then relax. And then when you can, lift up super high, pull the roll out, and lower yourself down. And when you do, imagine that the roll is still there. So we've got a curve. I want you to find your ribs, soften through the mid-back, so you're going to release any hyper curve that you might have there. Lengthening the back of the neck. Shoulders relaxed. Feel the sensations coming off of the thick roll. Maybe a sigh of relief coming off. Most of us need a lot of work down there. So well done. Let's bring the feet together, inner knees together. We're going to inhale one arm across. On the exhalation, we're rolling, pressing down into the ground, and then slowly guiding yourself up. Let's get ourselves set up for final rest. For final rest, I do recommend placing something underneath the back of the knees and maybe something underneath the head, just a little cushion. Don't build up a big pillow. If you have a blanket or an eye pillow that you'd like to use now, grab it. Get as comfortable as you can. All right, once you're down on the ground, just taking out all the fidgets, finding some adjustments or movements that you might need to make to get yourself a little more comfortable. And then after about a minute or so, I invite you to find stillness in your body, to close your eyes. Become aware of the changes that you created in your body here today. Connecting to the lightness and the space, the grounding and the relaxation in the body, the mind. Becoming aware of your structure and the decompressing. Feel the space and the length, the blood flow. Notice your overall mood. Quality of your breath, the sounds in your room, the temperature of the space that you're in. Observe the body. Observe your thoughts. Observe your breath. Making the choice of where you'd like to rest your mind. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Punaktu Saha Viryam Karva Vahai Tejasvinav Aditamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bring your awareness back to the body and the breath. Starting to deepen the breath and starting to move your body. Gently waking it. Gently stretching and reaching into that space that surrounds your body. Deep breaths in and maybe audible breaths out. When you're ready, bending the legs in and rolling to your side. Supporting the head and the neck with your bottom arm. Take that top arm, hug those knees in tight to your chest. Thanking yourself, showing appreciation towards yourself in this body. When you're ready, pressing down, guiding yourself up to a seat. I invite you to bring your palms together and over your heart. Notice how you feel as you bring yourself up. Let's close with a single Om. Inhaling and exhaling together first. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and a deep breath into Om. I invite you to bring your thumbs to that space between your eyebrows, your third eye gaze, the seat of your knowledge, your intuition. And here the divinity in me sees that white light that shines in you. And I thank you so much for joining me on your mat today. Namaste. Thank you.